Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 52nd episode of Gyaniki Tech Talk. Our guest speaker for today is Mr. Arun Seelam, co-founder and CEO of Boson Motors. Prior to starting Boson, Arun was a database engineer at Google. He has his majors in computer science from the US and his bachelor's in electronics and instrumentation engineering from India. Please join me in welcoming Arun Seelam, co-founder and CEO, Boson Motors. Arun, welcome to Gyaniki Tech Talk.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Arun, the platform is all yours.
I will quickly introduce myself and introduce Boson, and I will try to fairly quickly open up for an Q&A session and an open discussion. So again, we are Boson. We were established in 2017 in Fremont, California. I am based out of California, and Suri, my co-founder, and we were co-workers and engineers at Google while we started this company. We've been working on developing a vehicle that our core thesis is the ease of programming or ease of automating an electric vehicle. So on that, we have been working for the last 5 years, and I believe at this point we are in the first stages of early production stages of our product. So what we make is a light duty electric utility vehicle. We refer to it Boson truck. Along with that, we produce a solar charging station and storage system. So Boson's primary focus is rural and agricultural market. So our products are purpose built to help farmers run their farms sustainably and automate a lot of chores so that farmers can increase their profitability and spend more time with their family. So this is a quick introduction video about what we do. This is again, like I said, it's still in production, so kindly forgive me if you see any unfinished assets.
From row to road, our light utility vehicle handles all terrains. The Boson Motors LX40 is a fully electric, autonomous-enabled utility vehicle that gets the job done in the field and beyond. Driverless features reduce stress on workforce for inspection and maintenance, materials transport, and safety powered by an easy-to-use app. No special equipment or expertise required. Boson's custom-built battery uses lithium iron phosphate chemistry, which is safe and non-flammable, ideal for rough terrain. It offers a longer lifespan with less maintenance compared to alternatives like lithium-ion and lead-acid batteries. Boson offers a turnkey solution. Power your vehicle through a personal charging station. Go off the grid with a simple solar installation or connect to existing power. Use power tools and equipment anywhere, powered by the Boson battery. All the benefits of driverless, zero-emissions technology without breaking the bank. Boson Motors, making autonomous and electric vehicles accessible to all.
And this is our vehicle being used in a farm in the US. Again, our primary market is North America. Right now, it is being used to spray water in a field. These are some of the typical use cases of our product. We have a small manufacturing plant in Chennai. We are at this point, we are in the process of expanding it to a slightly larger plant to produce more units. We completely produce this unit from scratch in our plant, and most of the production is dedicated or primarily for export. At this time, we don't have any market outlook or we don't have any plans to launch this product in India anytime soon. So our focus is primarily export market for the near future. So again, we hope to have a few demo units by end of this in the fall this year, and we hope to opening orders end of this year. And the pilot units production is in the process, and our plans are to deploy this winter some pilot units with our marquee customers. And hopefully by March 2023, we really look forward to start regular deliveries of our product. So that's all about Boson. I think I will like to open the floor and open up for Q&A.
Right. So thanks, Arun, for sharing this. There are two aspects that you have mentioned. One is the electric, but the second more bigger aspect seems to be the software and the autonomous element. So can you help us understand more? Because as such, the autonomousity is still a very nascent subject in the Indian market. So how's your experience been developing the autonomous aspects of the vehicle?
So definitely challenging. Uh, I wouldn't say it was easy. A lot of components, I mean, a lot of components had to be airshipped. We did not have a good time or easy time finding supporting components or subassemblies. A lot of times we had to end up paying duties to ridiculous amounts. Some of our components attracted, just one component attracted like 3 or 4 lakhs in duty just per component. So it was painful for us, and that's primarily one of the reasons we are trying to move away the production from India. At least the basic metal chassis and all will be fabricated in India. The rest we hope to move out of India and assemble it at the destination in the US. So it was not easy. The electronic parts were not easily available, and the chip shortage, if anything, has only exacerbated it. Uh, yeah, the hardware wise, India has a lot of ground to catch up. However, software wise, we are pretty confident. We have the talent. Our team is excellent, and the talent pool is amazing. So software wise, we are not too concerned about the ability to produce, but hardwares has been a challenge for the last couple of years, and I believe it will continue to be a challenge for the foreseeable near future.
So as you talk about the manufacturing, let's say in US, um, since you're targeting this agri business, what sort of vehicle certification would this fall under?
This is a farm machinery, farm electric equipment. It basically falls under farm machine, like a tractor or a farm equipment.
And
Yes,
for that, are there any special uh, certifications which would be required in the US market?
there are certainly some certification, but it is not as bad as India. In terms of regulatory framework, India is more curtailing to new companies and more favorable to established OEs. The regulation is does it whatever it can to prevent new companies from popping up. But in US, it is more friendly and open towards new players. Uh, there are some DOT certifications and safety standards that we take our vehicle through to ensure some, especially usage of some components like DOT standard glass. I mean, DOT is Department of Transportation glass, that tempered glass, automotive grade, and some basic hygiene checkups. Nothing as stringent as or as ridiculous as India.
Also, in terms of how do you see the competitive landscape?
There is plenty of competition. Absolutely, we have seen a lot of tractor makers who offer autonomous solutions, especially the big ones. John Deere started producing autonomous vehicles, and then there are several other startups like Bear Flag Robotics and several other players who are producing this kind of vehicles. However, we personally at Go Boson, we believe our product is unique in its own way. Our software is again purpose built for solving a very particular set of problems for few customers. So at least for the next foreseeable future or 1 or 2 years, we should be fine. But the market is big enough. Even if there are 10 more players, there is enough market. I believe at this point it is really not the competitor that is preventing anybody, but it is the company's ability to produce and make reliable products that is a primary limiting factor.
So how and when did you select this customer segment to address?
We started in Boson in California in 2017. We started manufacturing plant in Pune in about 2018. So we have to say our primary target has always been the states, United States. India,
Right.
I mean, because both the founders are from India, we opened a shop there because it's ease of recruiting people and slightly lower cost of operations. Uh, but the focus has always been the US.
And why the agri business versus other areas?
And we chose that because they can certainly use help. Farmers need all the help they can get, and and the American farmers tend to be the beachhead of most new technological developments. If you see the combines or the autonomous tractors or new kind of spreading machines or cultivators, a lot of them tend to first start with the American farmers. The American farmers are great early adopters. They are conservative, but some segment of them are really good early adopters and conducive to new technology. So it was a natural choice for us.
And what level of voice of customer activities that you have undertaken in order to get the right requirements for the product?
We worked closely with a few farmers in California, and they it was not like a voice of customer, any formal collaboration, any formal survey or such. But when we were designing the vehicle and specing it, we took their pain points and we looked at what kind of vehicles they were using today, what's great with them, what could be improved, and also we took a lot of suggestions on what are some of the desirable features that these farmers need in the next generation of vehicles, and we and then we designed that.
So, do you look at this as an individual purchase, or there will be aggregators also in the market, like who will be renting and leasing it out to the farmers?
I don't see that as a this is primarily a machine that farmers will purchase on their personal for their personal use in their personal fund. I don't see that at least the market or the model of engagement like leasing is not really common here. So to the best of my knowledge, of course.
Right. What would be the potential next market beyond the US? And how scalable do you see the solutions to bring up something like micro factories?
So again, our philosophy and what we are building is also a microfactory. Uh, so we are completely in line with that, and we are not just merely preaching, but we are following the path of a microfactory and a micro production unit as we are actually establishing and building one. And in terms of different markets, I believe North America itself is a decent enough market for us for the near future, US, Canada markets. And then, if anything, we might expand into Europe, uh, Southern Europe, or sometimes Southeast Asia, not India, but on the Indonesia, that side of market. We had some demand from that areas for a specific kind of crops, but again, primarily North America is where we target our products. Again, the whole product is designed with keeping the standards of a North American customer in mind. So our product might be a little overbuilt for an average South Asian market. Overbuilt, overspec, and may not be the exact fit.
Right. So while the product focus is there, what are you doing on the critical components like the battery, the motor? Are these being done in-house or you have vendors for this?
Battery is completely done by us. We build the batteries because we import cells from overseas, and the fabrication of the battery, the chassis, and the vehicle is done internally by us. For motor, we partnered with the Wisconsin-based company, and we have been working with them for quite some time. They help us uh, with the motors. Again, we procure a completely assembled unit. Again, that market, the company is also American, so it goes well with the customer and the customer requirements. The rest is all made in India.
So in the terms of the battery, the chemistry has always been a question point, especially the thought of LFP versus the NMC. So, what were the considerations that went into the chemistry and cell selection at Boson?
I mean, we went through the ARA homologation process in 2019, and our system has been certified. Actually, we are the first light commercial vehicle. At the time, we retrofitted a Tata Ace with our solution. We got it certified in Jan 2020. So according to ARAI, we were the first LCV to be certified in India as a EV. So from that phase onwards, looking at what we have evaluated several battery chemistries, especially mainly NMC was our primary. NMC and LFP were the two batteries we evaluated. Uh, but again, we had a couple of battery scientists from Switzerland and one from Canada advising us and consulting for us, considering the Indian operating conditions, especially the testing conditions, and the kind of vehicles that we are targeting. Energy density and weight was not really a biggest concern for us because our product is a commercial or a machine that carries payload. So uh, cost was also not a big factor for us because the battery itself is large, and we are not as cost sensitive to the individual components as a small scooter are. So LFP became a natural choice considering a lot of these form factors. But in the early days, we did prototype a few NMC packs, and then we just left it as it did not meet our criteria.
Now, the American farmer is a very evolved person. They were the first to, ask for the air-conditioned cabins and all the other gizmos in the cabin of the driver or user as well. So, what are the in-cabin type of requirements or features that you will be catering to?
Well, as such, the whole cabin is designed with an American male in mind. So if you see our vehicle, it is big. It is almost 7 feet tall and very spacious. When somebody was working, some people in an average Indian person can sit in the footwell and basically sit in the footwell. It's that big. So the whole vehicle, the doors, the steering, the positioning is all built around an American male, an American farmer. So they will feel right at home. It doesn't feel like a cramped vehicle that was built in India or Asia by to that standards. Uh, and in terms of creature comforts, we do have reclining seats, movable seats, of course, sliding seats, and seat belts. Heater, air conditioning is an option that we offer, and of course, the vehicle is semi-autonomous. It acts like your assistant, and the philosophy of Boson is not to make it look like a gizmo, but make it more like a everyday usage usable appliance, like a microwave. You don't need special training to turn on a microwave oven. You put something in and then press a button. That's the level of ease of use we are targeting, and that's our philosophy. So we don't have any extra or fancy gadgets or lot of buttons with lights and extensive manuals or features like that. The vehicle is fairly simple, dumb, and straightforward. I mean, and I wouldn't say dumb, but easy to use. It's really easy to use. So that has been our philosophy and focus while providing creature comforts.
And what features are you planning with regards to apps, user apps, and connectivity?
User apps as such, I did not understand clearly the question.
So basically now everyone wants to control or some aspects of the vehicle via their cell phone in terms of let's say maybe preheating the vehicle before they go into the vehicle, or enabling charging, discharging remotely, as well as monitor all the data on their cell phone, especially with regards to the battery status, the state of charge, and so on. So, is there any app also, user app, that they will be having with the vehicle?
We have not deployed the app, but it is, however, it is still in development, the companion app. So when we sell this product to the customer will just download a phone app, and then that will act like your uh, connection to your truck. And one of the main uh, again this comes to our company's or Boson's philosophy of implementing things is privacy. We take privacy very seriously, and personally our product, after we sell the truck, the data and whatever the truck does belongs to the farmer. So the truck does not upload any data that the farmer does not want us to know. So even though we have monitoring, it is very selective monitoring. The farmer has to opt in for us to monitor the product. Otherwise, we are again more, our philosophy and values are more libertarian, and we do not like companies prying eyes and analyzing every bit of data and trying to find what this guy is trying to do. So we are more of, it's your product, your data, do whatever you want. If you want our help, we are here. That's our modus operandi. So we don't do
So,
any fancy algorithms with the data. It's just, if you buy the truck, you know if it is charging or not. That basic level of data is there, and that too only you have access to it.
very fair. So, coming to the Indian market, 4 years ago, I remember seeing a video from Boson which showed how the Boson electric converted ACE was accelerating against again on a incline against petrol ACE, and leaving it far behind. And it's only now, 4 years later, that Tata has finally announced and launched the ACE as an electric platform themselves. Where do you see the Indian market failing to capitalize on the entire electrification journey? I'm sure you have been contacted by a lot of companies who may have been interested in the solutions and offering that you were able to demonstrate.
The India needs to come out of the finance mindset. It might be blunt, but honest truth is, you do not calculate your net profitability and all your cash flow projections on day one. Day one, you take a faith-based engineering intuition and develop a product, and then make sure the product works, and then the profits should follow. However, the Indian mindset, or especially the large companies, tend to cater to a market segment that is so big, and it wants to cater to basically everybody. Some people have the money, some are barely able to make it the next EMI. And when you try to cater to everybody in the first attempt and mass produce a completely different product, well, it's not easy. It'll take time. I think that is what is happening in India. And I believe India could have been more aggressive in investing in the EV infrastructure. I have to say, I'm giving out some negative opinion in the hope that somebody will listen to this and make a corrective action, because I believe India has not been aggressive enough. They were too conservative in making investments in either battery production or engineering the fundamental components, or the whole R&D aspect of things are really behind a lot of Western countries and China. I mean, I'm not saying that we don't have the talent. We absolutely have the talent. I mean, a lot of engineers in Tesla I know are Indians. It's just the corporates or the people who have the cash did not prioritize R&D investments in India, is what I see as the biggest limiting factor.
Sure. I think that resonates with what we understand from the ecosystem as well. Uh, in terms of, entrepreneurs like yourself who may not be having access to the American market or a matured market and are trying to work on these things in India, what would be your top suggestions for them?
India is a one-fifth or one-sixth of the world population. In India, there are many different countries of various in the countries in the sense there are people who have the money, who do not have the money, and who are barely living it. So India in itself is a subcontinent, and the market is so big that you do not have to go out of the country to find the right uh, customer. And from what I see, Indian customers are more forgiving. If your product fails, they will not go online and give you a 1 star. They will call you and say, hey, what's happening, let me help. So India definitely has a lot of advantages. The customers are more patient and value driven. So from what I see, there is tremendous amount of opportunity. I believe the number of EV companies that I see now are not enough to cater to the entire country. So as such, South India in itself can be considered its own sub-country to design and cater EVs, and then the Northeast, the West, and North, we have enough market. Like each company can focus on one set of customers and then build a compelling product. I don't really see that as a limiting factor. It is a tremendous opportunity. It's just that we happen to be living in the US for the last 15 years. We are just focusing on what we see around us. At least myself and Suri, the co-founder. So does that help? I mean,
Yeah, sure, sure, sure. I think that is uh, still an optimistic statement. Again, they have to struggle through this finance, and the investors are going to ask for the returns on the day two, if not the day one. But we are
I hear
seeing
you. I
some
totally
companies.
hear.
We are seeing some companies make breakthroughs. So let's hope that it can progress. So, Arun, any parting
Yeah,
words? Or
I
yeah,
just want to
Mr. Shevde, yeah, yeah.
I,
Please go ahead.
myself Madhusudan S. Actually, this is something really I found it is a green solutions and making our soil green and our and for our future generations. This is something really you are contributing for the earth. Something really all blessings to you. And what I
Oh,
see
thank
here is actually particularly the solar panels, and they will charge the that particular your Boson tractor, small commercial vehicle. It's also something good, and that is where we need to be drawing, because now we really cannot be drawing from the fossil fuel, because that is where all the in India particularly we need to depend on it, because here we have recently news of shortage of actually electricity. But we are going into EVs in a big ways. But where is the electricity? How it will be charged? So solar also is very important. So at the point of use, we need to have solar. Like you have in your field, you have put the solar panels. So it is a end-to-end something solution where energy usage and driving and all those things are no. It's a whole circle is formed there, and people also, it is an autonomous thing also. So these are the really positive aspects, and really it's a good solution. Even our India, I think we should, what you actually pointed out, we have to be now active and we have to invest in batteries, then motors and everything. I don't see anything because there are some EVs now being made by the Tata Group, and they are in the forefront right now. You also mentioned Ace was actually electrified, and so this is something really we have to need to do very quickly and very fast. So, Mr. Arun, your suggestions really something they are very important. Hope they will reach our the people who are making the policies. Something really very important. You told ki there are difficulties in setting up the things, whether the I mean the government laws, then specs and everything. Still, we are actually in a state of slumber. We have to get up very quickly, and maybe we have to think over it very fast now, because otherwise no we'll be in a very difficult situation, because we will not be able to burn coal and make CO2 and then spoil the atmosphere, or the emissions, carbon emissions also, that also we'll have to consider. So something, and batteries, I mean energy storage also we have to think of in India, because otherwise you have only between 8 to 5 will generate. At the same time this vehicle also has to be charged. So all those things, and your autonomous and software, no, it will decide automatically. Vehicle may just reach there, you don't have to put a wire, it will be with a remote. I think that is what I saw, the car went there, it got charged. There was no electrical connection between the, that is what I saw on the video. So this type of things will be very useful. So it will be a autonomous thing and total solution. Hope really it's something you are looking into the future, and it's a great thing. And our Indians are doing
Oh,
it.
thank
I am really proud. Our Indians are doing it really. Yeah,
Oh, thank you very
yeah.
much, sir.
Thank you.
That
Thank
means
you.
my appreciate it very much, Mr. Madhusudan. Thank you very much. I really
Yeah.
appreciate your kind feedback. It makes our day, and we've been working at it for 5.5, 6 years now, and really glad to hear that we are doing something useful.
So had this been before, then you would not need your today's cup of coffee. So, so
Yes.
thank you, sir. Any other points from anyone in the audience? We okay. Okay, Arun, any parting words from your side?
Yes. So after that energizing speech from Mr. Madhusudan, I would like to just say what he said is spot on. As people who are born in India and myself, I am exposed to more Western democracies. So I believe that government should do as little as possible. Government should be completely absent in electric vehicle revolution. I might come across as counterintuitive, but if you think about it, that's good for the country. I believe it's individual entrepreneurs, big companies can and in fact they are the ones who will change India for the better. The less the government regulates, the less policies they bring out is better for everybody. In fact, they should abolish ARAI entirely. Then you will see thousands of Indian electric vehicles. Yeah, some will catch on fire, but you will see thousands of them, millions of them. So, so I really hope and wish the India becomes more freer and more conducive to research and development and produces more electric vehicles, and then at least our grandchildren can breathe cleaner air. That's all I have to say.
Sure, Arun. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And I think the energy, the passion, the spirits, 5 years seems like a long time, but in product development, it's still a short time. And we see here in India, there are startups who want to launch in 2 days. They make one vehicle and it's going as a launch vehicle. Um, so, hats off to all the efforts that you and Team Boson have put in place. And we all wish to see this unique thing on the fields in the US soon, and wish you all the best for that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And thank you for having me and hosting me.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Okay,
Bye
thank
bye.
you everyone. Yeah, bye.